Pricing your program for maximal profit and progress is going to be one of the most important decisions that you now make as a business owner, because no money equals no business. And let's face it, there are so many different factors and variables at play when it comes to pricing your product in a way that's going to give you a great profit every month. It's going to align to your customer. It's going to be a great ROI for them. And it's also going to align to the skill set, the market, and the model that you currently operate from. And this training is not going to be this is how much you should charge and this is what you should do. Instead, I'm going to help you unpack why do you charge what you currently charge? My 3 biggest lessons that I've experienced and been through with pricing over the last decade growing an online coaching company. And then I'm going to give you the 3 variables, the models, and the pathways that you can go and implement that will act as a compass that will help you get clarity around exactly how to price your program based on these different factors, which you've always got available to you. But before I do so, I wanted to give you a little something from the man himself, because this really landed with me. It's around pricing power, and it just gives you perspective around where you are at this present moment in time from a positioning perspective, an authority perspective, reputation and results perspective as well. The single most important decision in evaluating a business is pricing power. If you have the power to raise prices without losing business to a competitor, you've got a very good business. So automatically you go to, well, actually, if I increase my prices right now, would I continue to acquire customers based upon the results, the reputation, the authority, the expertise, the credibility, and all those things that are going out in the marketplace? And if I increase my current prices internally, would I continue to retain customers based upon the service, the perceived value, the impact that I'm currently having, the journey they're going on, and all of those good pieces? A great question that I want to start off with is, how do you currently price your time in your program? Where did that even come from? Where did you even get that number? Did that number come from a mentor who told you that's exactly what you need to do? And of course, there's credit and merit in terms of being able to have guidance and leadership from somebody who's been able to walk the path, and they've been able to see so many different people, and they've been able to observe obviously the marketplace and give you obviously an opportunity to be able to direct you and lead you. Has it come through just observing lots of other coaches, and this is what they're charging and this is what they're doing? Again, there's merit and credit in that, because understanding the marketplace is going to be super integral. Or are you now placing the price of your product based on your skill, your supply and demand, the market that you serve, the model that you operate from, the results that you're currently getting, the reputation that you're currently building? There's so many different factors we've got to now be able to take into account. And this isn't about right or wrong. It's just understanding your logic and rationale. So that allows us to understand your thinking, which will then give us a greater degree of power moving forwards, because I'm a massive believer in building a business your way. And building a business your way is understanding, how do I want to do things? How am I pricing my product in a way that actually helps me make a profit every month, that feels great for me, that helps my customer get a great ROI, but also actually it feels safe, it feels good, it aligns to me, it aligns to how I want to do things, and it's serving me. Because otherwise what ends up happening, and I've seen this so often, is that people are pricing their program based upon what somebody else has said, but they don't necessarily believe in it, or they're not actually there from a reputation and a results and an expertise perspective, and so there's this big disconnect. Or they're just charging based upon what everybody else is doing, and they just end up blending in. And again, there's not really that level of confidence and clarity surrounding that. So let's have a look at 3 big problems. Number 1, basing your price on your self-worth, not your actual value and impact. I'm going to give you a quick story that I had a few years ago that completely blew my mind and changed the game, because it was just such an incredible contrast piece that really highlighted so much for me. I was on 2 back-to-back sales calls. I had person A jumped onto a call, had a great conversation, was speaking about the investment, and they turned around to me at the end. They were like, "Joe, that is way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I didn't have any clue." And obviously there's so much I could talk about in terms of pre-qualification, all the stuff that I didn't do back then. But besides the point, it was that position where they're like, "I would love to be able to work with you, but I just can't make it work." And at the moment, I only had 1 product and had 1 price. And so I was like, okay, left that call a little bit deflated, a little bit flat. I was like, maybe am I too expensive? Is it too much? Because I really want to help these people, but I can't, based upon obviously how I'm currently delivering things. And at the time, I was obviously just operating through that process. And then literally 2 minutes later, I got onto call B, and I got to the end of the process, and I turned around and I told that person the investment, and they went, "Wow." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" That's way cheaper than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be at least 2 or 3 times more expensive than that. And within that moment, I was like, what a contrast. Person A turned around, was like, went through exactly the same process, same product, same service, same result, same outcome, way too expensive. Person B thought it was going to be 2, 3, 4 times. And it can be so easy to get caught up basing your pricing based upon what people are reflecting back to you. And of course, again, important observation metric that we need to absolutely collect. But it can be so easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of Have a good month, oh, I should increase my prices. Have a bad month, decrease my prices. Things are going well. And we're then actually placing so much of our value on how we feel rather than actually the value, the impact, and the results that you can get. But it was in that moment, it made me respect and appreciate that people perceive value in very, very different ways. And it's not about person A is right and person B is wrong or vice versa. It's just recognizing and understanding that you're not going to be for everybody based upon the market and what it is that you're currently doing. And that's what we need to get clarity on. And that's okay. And that's also an absolute superpower. And to give you a quick frame, just to be able to shift perspective around like zooming out from making it about you and how you feel right now. Client A, been trying to solve fat loss for 5+ years. How much time has that taken away from them in terms of joy, energy, headspace, time with the family, etc.? How much energy has been lost watching YouTube videos, listening to conflicting information, shopping, and staring at the wardrobe, and all those other things that can come along with just the challenge and the frustrations they've got? How much money have they spent on supplementation, products, coaches, all those good things? How much has that cost them up until this point? And also moving forwards, if they don't have that problem solved, how much could that actually now cost them over the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it now might potentially be? And if you could solve their problem forever because you've got the coaching skill, because you're good at what it is that you do, how much would that genuinely be worth? And the answer is, you probably can't put a number on it. And right now, the goal is not to put a number on it, but just actually zoom out and actually allow yourself to recognize like how easy it can be to place your value on how you feel rather than actually the impact you can have, the results that you can get. And again, I'm going to share with you the key pieces that we need to have clarity on around how to price for your perfect fit client. So it's going to be a great yes. And also it's going to obviously serve you and what it is and how it is that you want to do things. Number two, I see so many great coaches who are busy but undercharging. We had a fantastic coach who we were partnering alongside, had 100 clients. They were stuck. They're at a position where they wanted to be able to grow, have a bigger impact. They were over delivering. They were secretly starting to lose their passion because they were just doing so much. And they wanted to continue to go further, but they couldn't. And at that time, they were increasing their price point, increasing their price point, increasing their price point. And when I had the conversation with this individual, they're like, yeah, what are you charging? I was like, £250 a month, £297 a month, one of the two. And when we then looked at actually the average customer order, so on average across the 100 clients, how much was an average customer paying? It turns out they were paying £97.50. And this coach had just got such incredible results, built a reputation, had great retention, had great community, and then had grown so much over the years that clients had stayed with this person. But then they reached a point where they basically were unable to continue to move and grow because their average customer order was so low relative to the service and what it was that they were providing. And I see this so regularly where you have so many good coaches who are almost undercharging, and it's not reflective of them, their expertise and their quality, because they fucking love what they do. They really enjoy what they do. They're really about what they do. And it's a passion and it's a love, and they just do it because so often they actually just want to do it. And that is a great strength. That's literally at the heartbeat of so much. But also, like everything, there's a downside to the upside. And similarly, on the other side, I've seen so many low-skill coaches who can't coach, who don't care about the results that they get with their clients, and they're just selling shit in a can. They're literally trying to market and sell and tactic their way to getting bums on seats, getting clients to the door. And then what ends up happening is that client has a really negative experience. They then have a high degree of skepticism, low degree of trust. They look at the marketplace, and then they have, again, like this barrier up now because they've been promised the world and they've not been delivered. And they've also paid way more than they should have done. And that creates a big disconnect. And I see this so commonly, and it can frustrate coaches who are actually great coaches because number one, it can be easy to look at that person and think, well, why are they doing so much better than me, even though that you know that you're a much, much better coach. And secondly, obviously starts to tarnish, obviously, the reputation in terms of the industry, and that frustrates you because you now want to show people what you do, how you do it, how good you are, and how you're obviously not like them. So let's have a look at the actions that I want to be able to walk and talk you through in terms of the variables that we need to be able to take into account when it comes to pricing. We're then going to look at the pricing models that you need to have in your back pocket so you know how to price in a way that's going to help you maximize lifetime value and is also going to work with you from a cash flow, safety, security, and stability perspective. And then we're going to look at just a little marginal gain that you can now change that can literally transform your business from something that's doing okay to a highly profitable machine without doing anything weird, wonderful, or drastic. So let's look at the three variables. First things first. The biggest considerations that I now make when it comes to pricing is going to be number one, your expertise, your skills, your reputation, how long you've been in the industry in terms of experience, your credibility, the results that you're currently getting, etc. Super important. Number two, we've then got who? Who do you help? What's the market that you now currently serve? Who are they? What are they looking for? What's the level of support and strategy that you're wanting to provide for them? What's the pond that you're now currently fishing from? And it can be so easy for people to go down this like lens of, I just need to find people who've got the most amount of money. But that doesn't necessarily land or align to you, how you want to do things, who you want to help, how you want to help them. Maybe you haven't got the skills to be able to obviously deliver on those promises. And there's so many factors at play here. So the who has got to be aligned to the perfect fit client, who you want to help, why you want to help them, what do you stand for, what do you stand against, why are they going to resonate, connect with you, and why are you now going to be the go-to? And how can I make sure that I've got clarity around my perfect fit client, exactly who I'm speaking to, so I'm positioned in a strong way. And then finally, we've got how, which is going to be your model. And that's going to be, am I serving one-to-one? Am I serving one-to-many? Am I now looking to build a team where I can now start to remove myself from the coaching? Is it now potentially going to be one-off products and programs? And the question you have to ask yourself is, well, how many clients do I want to work with? What feels good to me? Based upon the model that I want to run, based upon how I know that I can best serve them and best help them. And secondly, like really simple question is like, how much cash do you want to make? And of course, the goalpost might change, and that's okay. And also there might be a level of, I don't know, but generally speaking, I always look at like live life, love life, later life. But even being able to have a level of understanding of what that now looks like. So you can go, right, okay, I want to be able to make X amount of revenue. Okay, cool. I now know that based upon the model that I want to run that helps me deliver in the best possible way, it feels really good for me, is how I want to do things. I know that I can work with X amount of clients, which then means obviously price point is going to be Y. And then the question to ask yourself is, have I then got the skills, the reputation, the results, the expertise, all those good things to be able to charge that and to be able to get somebody from A to B and what it is that they're now looking to do. But we're always going to be going through you, who, and how. And this isn't about, this is exactly what you need to do. It's about recognizing, realizing that actually, do you know what? For one person, working with lots of people in a leverage model on a lower price point is going to be better, and that's going to serve their market, who they're trying to help, and what feels really, really good for them. And in the same breath, somebody else might want to work with a lower level number of people at a higher level and give them a greater degree of access, support, strategy, direction, one-to-one time and proximity. And that's how they want to do things based upon obviously what their market's currently looking for. And then you've also got a blend of the two as well, which is a conversation for another day. But they're always going to be the key pieces we've got to look at. And these have always got to be the questions just to start off with. There can be a bit of a compass that will act as a North Star. Number two, let's have a look at the pricing models that we've got. Because it can be so easy to go on the internet and all of a sudden somebody's like, you need to charge high ticket, you need to charge low ticket, you need to charge up front, you need to charge monthly recurring, you need to charge all the different styles and methodologies that people now believe in. And I'm a massive believer in being dynamic and flexible and malleable and being open, because I think, number one, it actually allows you to actually probably have a little bit more stability and a little bit more fluidity in terms of cash flow and how you're managing things. Secondly, it actually then works with the customer as well. And we're not just like, yes, you can afford it, no, you can't. Okay, you can come in, no, you can't. It's actually just giving us an opportunity to be able to have slightly different barriers to entry. So number one, we have paid in fulls. Paid in fulls, the benefits of paid in fulls. Number one, you're going to be able to collect more cash up front, which actually now means that you're going to be able to move with more speed because you're going to be able to reinvest and you're going to have capital and cash in the bank that's now going to be already there and good to go. The benefit for the customer basically means that they may potentially now get a discount. So that might be like a 10, 15, 20% off based upon obviously them now paying up front, depending upon what you're doing and how you're currently doing it. The second model that we've got is a split pay. This is now going to be where you collect a little bit more cash in the front end, and you also then collect the remainder of the cash halfway through the program, a third through the program, whatever now works for you. We've then got a monthly recurring model where what we do is we just lower the barrier to entry. There's no paid in full, there's no upfront cash. All we're now doing is just going straight into a monthly model of whatever it now is for minimum term. And then finally, we have like a blend. So we had a paid in full into an MRR. So for example, it might be you pay in full for the first 30 days, and then off the back of that, it then drops down into a monthly payment thereafter. Now, of course, there are pros and cons to all. And we've got to think about your customer journey. We've got to think about what it is that you're currently optimizing for and what it is that you're looking for, because there are loads of people who just decide that they want to collect a load of cash paid in full, which is great and that's amazing. But one big challenge that I often see is that they will collect a load of cash up front, obviously for 1 month, and now all of a sudden, second month, they've now got to go and deliver at that service. They haven't got the capacity to then be able to market and sell and onboard new customers. So they go from high month to really, really low month to then high month to then really, really low month. Emotionally, that has a huge impact. And again, if that works for you and you can regulate your emotions and that feels good, then absolutely fantastic. Similarly, we have other people that just want to opt for MRR. The great thing about that is potentially a lower barrier to entry. We can build a level of predictability. The challenge with that is it's a lot slower, and also the cash isn't now guaranteed. So that's why I like obviously just having this blend and just understanding, but okay, what are a couple of the different options that I now have up my sleeve, and what's going to be a structure that most importantly actually feels really good for you, which gives you stability so you can think cleanly. And secondly, it also is going to feel good for the customer. And of course, this is then going to be in alignment with your strategy. And then your customer journey is obviously going to have a huge impact as well in terms of, do they pay for minimum term, 3, 6, 12 months, whatever it now might potentially be. And then does it downgrade to a slightly lower level? Is there an ascension model? There's different variables to now be able to think about. But it's not about, I think, just saying one is better than the other. I think it's about understanding how they serve and how they work, and actually how they can combine and be pretty powerful together. But it's got to feel good for you as the owner, because your thinking, your energy, your emotional regulation is going to be absolutely everything. And finally, I want to give you a little something that whenever I share this with any coach, they're like, wow, I didn't even realize that could be so powerful. Because whenever you talk about like pricing and price increases, it can be easy to make these like big quantum leaps of price points. And all of a sudden it's like, I could never do that. Instead of actually just thinking about the power of marginal gains, we talk about the power of marginal gains with training, nutrition, lifestyle, sleep, recovery, all those good things. But we can do exactly the same when it comes to obviously the business side, and just the power of a little bit of additional cash per person, the impact that can actually have when compounded. So I am not the best at maths, so I'm going to try and make this as simple and as easy for me as possible. And I'll just show you, so hopefully it just gives you perspective, and then you can adapt and adjust and make it serve and make it work for you. So let's say, for example, you're working with 50 clients. And at the moment you're charging, just to make it super easy for me, £150 per month. I'm not going into any paid in fulls or anything like that. Right now, that basically means that you're collecting £7.5 per month. Let's say those 50 clients were now paying you £200 per month. That's now 10 grand per month cash collected, which is an extra £12.50 per week per client, which results in an extra £2,500 per month, which if you then have a great service, delivery, product, customer journey, etc., and somebody stays now for 12 months, that could be an extra 30 grand per year. Just by each customer paying an additional £12.50 per week. Now you could do exactly the same, from 150 to 175 or whatever, 200 to 250, 250 to 300, whatever number that you would now like. It can be so easy for clients to turn around to us and basically say, I need more clients. And it's like, do you need more clients? Is that what you're optimizing for based upon your model? Who you want to help and how many people you want to help in alignment with what feels good for you? Or actually, do you know what we need to do is just actually start to look at a slight price increase, which will give you more opportunity, which will actually then help you deliver the service that you now want to, get the results that you promise it and that you say that you can get in a way that feels really, really good for you, and also lands and aligns to the economics, and then gives you the space and the time to be able to work on the developments and the improvements that you now want to be able to go and make. And whenever you're thinking about this from a business perspective, it's just realizing just the power of small little marginal gains and the impact and the influence that can now have on your profitability. And that can be life-changing for you. That sum of money can transform your business and can be so integral to the longevity, the reinvestment, the fun, and also the experiences and the freedom that you're now looking to create. So I think a great thing for you to be able to go and do is actually to go and look at your average customer order right now at this present moment in time. Not what you're currently charging, but on average what your customers paying you per month. And does that align to you? Does it feel good? And is it giving you exactly what you're looking for? Let's have a look at your pricing models. What actually allows you to be lean, nimble, move with speed, gives you capital, gives you stability, but also predictability and repeatability. And then finally, like you, who, how. They're going to be the three variables that you've got to be able to consider when you're looking at your pricing. There's always going to be obviously a huge element around demand and supply that we've got to be able to consider. But this isn't just find the people who've got the greatest amount of money and then go and basically just sell to them, because that doesn't land, that doesn't work, and that's not for everybody, and that shouldn't be a strategy, in my opinion. There's different considerations that we need to make, and most importantly, it's got to be a nice combination between these three that's going to work for you. It's actually going to be fulfilling, it's going to give you the financial, and then it's also going to give you the fun and the freedom that you're looking for. So I hope that's giving you some clarity. I hope that's going to act as a compass that will just help you gain a greater degree of perspective of how to price as you continue to progress, grow, and evolve in a way that's actually going to work for you so you can make a healthy profit. It's a great ROI for your customers, and it's actually going to align to the skills, your expertise, and being able to serve the market in a model that feels fantastic for you. Until next time, speak to you soon.